How can we reduce the expenditure without increasing the income? Without decreasing the income? Food is the major expenditure. For example, for poor people, food is the major expenditure. How can we reduce the expenditure on food? Should we ask them to eat only once in a year? Plant your own food. Maybe I don't have any land. I am a wage laborer. Most of the poor are wage laborers, landless. And food is the major portion of the expenditure. How to reduce the expenditure? We cannot ask them to eat only once in a day. Then they will not be there. So how can we really reduce expenditure? Subsidize food. Yes. Food security programs. All food security programs are addressing the food expenditure bill. Because government is subsidizing food, it is giving food cheap, at the low cost, it is addressing the expenditure portion. If poor people come together and buy their requirements, necessities collectively from a wholesaler, then they can buy it cheaper. So collective purchase is one method of addressing expenditures. Similarly, risk factor. You have to address risk factors. There are health risks, there are production risks, there are general risks. You have to address them. Some risks are what? Idiosyncratic. They are called individual risks. Only some individuals play them. Some risks are individual, some risks are community based. For example, fishermen living on the shore, they have a risk of a collective nature, of a community nature. Some risks are common risks which are there for everybody. Then the risk should be addressed differently. Some risks are individual in nature. For example, a truck driver, the risk he faces is idiosyncratic because he can meet with an accident while he is driving on a road. So it is an individual kind of a risk. So individual kind of a risks have to be addressed differently. Common risks, collective risks have to be addressed differently. But risk have to be addressed. Some mechanism should be there. Some planning should be done. Some activities have to be planned around risk and expenditure. When you begin with expenditure reduction and risk reduction program, then they stabilize. The life of the poor people are unstable because their boat is rocked by the tumult of risk and expenditure. Their boat is traveling in the sea called risk and expenditure, right? Unless you stabilize expenditure and risk portions, their boat does not stop rocking. Income generation is increasing the speed of the boat. Unless you calm down the sea first, expenditure and risk are the sea in which the boat is traveling. Without calming down the sea, if you want to increase the speed, what happens? Boat sinks. Most of the time that is what happens. With the noble goal of increasing the income, we have given them multiple doses of income, loans. We have trained them to produce chalk pieces, trained them to produce soft toys, trained them to produce pickles, whatnot. But we have not taught them where to sell, how to sell. Then all their working capital is spent in production and they don't know what to do next. They don't know how to sell and how to realize their money back. Then they are indebted. So we have started with a noble aim to increase their expenditure. But what we have increased? We have increased only their debt burden. We have increased the size of their loan most of the times. Then poor people are forced to jump the loan, default, or wait for a political party or a government which will come and abolish all the debts. The loan waiver becomes a very popular policy where poor people will vote. Right? Debt burden. So just concentrate, focus more on expenditure and risk, then come back to income and improve the employment. income enhancement, employment promotion are the goals, but to come to those two goals, you have to address these two goals. Reduce the expenditure and reduce the risk. Only you can think about increasing the income and increasing the employment. Most of the times we begin at income generation and we fail miserably. We are bound to fail because we forgot in which conditions they are living. These are the conditions. These are the conditions. Work on the conditions. Work on the context. So this is a new thinking that has emerged. Don't focus too much on income aspect. Income aspect is important, but don't focus too much on it, and don't spend your entire energy on income alone, income generation alone. Start with expenditure aspect and risk aspect. Do something about their expenditures, do something about the risk they are facing. Then think about increasing this income and increasing employment. This is the new thinking. The economy cannot be reduced to income. Economy has 4 dimensions. That is very, very important. In all this,
all the 4 aspects.
yes. No. These are the 4 goals of any program. To achieve these goals, you need to have different kinds of institutions. And different institutions need different capacities. Because to address different goals, you need different institutions. And different institutions need different capacities. That is the issue. Okay, let's have a tea break and come back.
Yes.
So,
Friends.
higher level to community. On behalf of the participants, Cidrap and NID, I would like to thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Just had a very interesting session on promoting a new paradigm, and from that we go into the second session of today, that is community managed sustainable agriculture. And for this we have with us very renowned scientist from international organization based here in Hyderabad. I think many of you would have heard about this organization, international organization called ICRISAT. How many of you have heard about ICRISAT? Yes, from Sri Lanka, okay, India. Not even Philippines. You also haven't heard about this ICRISAT? It is international.
Or DG is from the Philippines.
Yeah, he's from Philippines. And William Dar. And he has been there for nearly 15 years. It's a long term, an international organization, heading an international organization for 15 years is quite an achievement, I should say.
Yes, retired on 31st December.
Yes.
He's still here.
Yes. Okay, yeah. This organization, ICRISAT, is based here in Hyderabad. It's doing research on semi-arid and tropical regions. And we have Dr. S.K. Gupta. He has been training in charge in that institute. And today he is going to talk to us about community-based sustainable agriculture.
Yeah, let me say hello and welcome. Good morning still, I think. Yes, good morning. Good afternoon. I had about 22 years at ICRISAT on training, purely on natural resource management area. Before that, I was teaching in one of the agriculture university near Calcutta for almost 13 years. My original home is from Bangladesh, so my mother tongue is same with Bangladesh participants, and my home is actually from Sylhet district. I was born in Sylhet district, Sylhet town. But then we migrated to Assam much before the partition happened in 1947. So that way, I sometimes call I am a refugee, roaming around the world. I am basically an agronomist. Did my PhD from Banaras University in Varanasi, in UP. And then had these 2 interactions of teaching and training in this institute. Now after that, I retired in 2000. You can see my hairs are all white there, and freelance now, consultant on training. But how I have come to this community-based sustainable agriculture is a little bit interesting. retirement, I worked for seed sector in India. You know, seed sector in India is very large, almost 12,000 crore. 1 crore is 10 million of industry. And seed sector I worked for 5 years there. After that, I came to the development sector in 2012 with a consultancy with the Syngenta Foundation, which is part of the Syngenta Seed, which is a multinational seed company based in Switzerland. And then I roamed around. There are 5 projects in India where we reviewed their projects and did some training program. And then I reviewed also a project by, it's called Ratan Tata Trust, SRTT. Ratan Tata is the head of the Tata companies, as you know. They had a lot of program in one of the states of Jharkhand, near Bihar, on vegetable cultivation, all that, and training over there. They also went to Gujarat, our Prime Minister Modi's state, to look at the training program they are doing in foundation. That is the time I came to the development area with NGOs working in various areas. I met almost 15 NGOs at that time working in various areas. But during my training period, we had this 6 months long training program, and I had participants from every country that you are representing. So I had people from Vietnam, and not only Laos I didn't have, Bangladesh definitely, Thailand, at least 15 or 20 of them worked with me. Dr. Adan Patanthai, who was at Konkan University, was our colleague in the system. One of my trainees was head of the Department of Agronomy in Konkan University. So I know your areas very well because I have been doing that also there. Fiji also had a training from Fiji also long back. Yeah, Bangladesh of course was there. Sri Lanka plenty used to come. So that's where I feel quite home. Because I have been working with trainees from all over Africa, Southeast Asia, Latin America for almost 22 years. That gives me more of international exposure to what is happening. Today I will take you more down to earth, what Dr. Bhargava was talking about, very holistic approach of development that is happening, and he clearly said what India was doing for last say 40 years and how it has been the paradigm change that is happening. Very similar thing is happening in agriculture also, and I'd like to take you through the journey as you go along. My theme would be, can the small farmer or the farmer feed the nation? Don't forget, in all our countries, in these countries, as I am sure, 70-80% farmers are what we call small farmers. Am I right? At least India it is 80% small farmers. Can we preserve the natural resources? Because why this question has come, because we have abused the natural resources in the last 40 years of green revolution and all that. Can we have a sustainable and eco-friendly agriculture? And my colleague Dr. Rupela will be talking more about eco-friendly agriculture. As is happening now, these are very new things now. Income generation, I now should change it to more risk and expenditure control than income generation. He gave a very good idea. And what are the challenges we have? We have enormous challenges. I don't think it's a simple one-stop solution so that I can't give any one-stop solution. But the challenges are really enormous. This is what our first Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, you might have heard, after independence he became the first Prime Minister. He said, everything can wait, but not agriculture. Challenges are shrinking and degrading natural resources, which is happening in every country. Climate change is real. You can't wish it away. Climate change is affecting all our lives. From food security to nutrition security, this is another challenge that is coming. India has now about, can I have your attention please, Vietnam girls? To stop talking between you, then concentrate more there. Okay. Food security, nutrition security is becoming a big challenge. India is having now 42% of the population malnourished. Africa is about 28%. Then we have the global trade regimes have come, which is affecting agriculture everywhere. The GATT, the WTO, the TRIP, all this thing is going to change agriculture also very much. It is affecting the lives of the small farmers also. Some of the challenges, Jawaharlal Nehru's photographs, if you have not seen him, he died in 1965 of heart attack because he brought some of the major changes. Oh my God. Change the color. sustainable agriculture. This is the topic I was given, and I've been working with the National Rural Livelihood Mission also. The question is, what is sustainable and what is not? We must be very clear about that. Can we sustain everything, or can we not sustain something? The agrarian crisis that is happening now in India probably going to affect in future in your country also. Is there a crisis? And I would say there is a crisis. The current state of Indian agriculture, what is happening, lessons from the past 50 years of Indian agriculture, including Green Revolution, post-Green Revolution period, and can we do something? And there are ways, there are already ways and means and happening in this state, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, in a large way, which is happening now. Let's look at Indian agriculture from post-independence to the present state. First, our natural resources. Everybody has the same natural resources. It's soil or basic cropping systems that follows and crops. It's water resources, and of course the farmer, who is the center of all this thing. And this small farmer having half an hectare, 1 hectare of land in India is feeding the nation. And also the production level is going up because of the small farmer only. We cannot forget the small farmer there. Soils of India, just very basically, we have about 20 major soil types. They are very diverse from texture and structure. There is huge amount of degraded soils. What do you mean by degraded soils? We'll come to that. We have our extent of arable soils is now coming down because of urbanization and infrastructure and all that. And we've got very light soils to very heavy soils. This is a typical Indian map. These are the soils which are called alluvium soils. These are riverine soils which are very fertile, right from Punjab to West Bengal over Bangladesh. These are black soils which are now in Hyderabad, in the center of the black soil area, and other soils are there. This is typically a black soil. You go out, when you are going out to I think you have a trip to some of the dairy farm, you will see the black soils and red soils in India, very much. India also has vast amount of degraded soil unsuitable for cultivation. Our net sown area, the net sown area which is cultivated, has gone up from 119 million hectare in 1951. Data is actually collected from there to 142 million hectare now. It's not a very large increase. It's only about what, 33 million hectares it's gone up. Cropping intensity, by which we mean that how many crop you can take on hectare of land. If you take two crops, then it becomes 200 intensity. If you take in one crop, then half crop. The average it is 137. That means 1/3 of a crop plus 100% crop you can take. 100 million hectare is degraded. And what do you mean by degraded? Degraded doesn't mean only soil erosion. It also means soil salinity. It also means soil alkalinity, where you can't grow a crop. And degradation mostly happen due to very heavy soil erosion that has happened. Our water use efficiency of, say, big canals and irrigation projects is only 40%. It's a huge amount of water is used, wasted and overused in India. We can grow up to 90% easily. Arable land, which is now about 162 million hectare, out of which 60 million is about irrigated. Now this is a very important figure because about 1/3 of a land you can now irrigate. It will be full potential. That means we put lot more canal irrigation, this irrigation, that irrigation. India cannot have more than 50%